Okay, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education, entertainment purposes only. So I did post a quick market update on my just my regular channel on YouTube. You can listen to that. So I won't cover the market on this live stream. I'm just going to go right to super chats today, and we'll just jump to the first one I've got here, and then if I have some time, I'll talk about what's on my mind later here. As people join Dogecoin. So, as you know, crypto is at a very pivotal point technically. Just to understand where Bitcoin sits at the moment. We either are looking for this double correction down. If it does that, all of crypto will take that final swing lower. It will really allow a lot of crypto to complete their corrections that they haven't completed. There's a lot of income, like based on my system, the incomplete corrections. Now, you could talk yourself into these being bottoms here, but I believe that's not the right way to do it. So I do think we could go down. Now, if this is a 2, you just got to understand the potential setup here in crypto. If that's a 2, then this is a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So essentially, as we're online, it's out of space here. The market is there. That's it. So what do you could probably put like a massive leverage long bet with very minimal loss here and just play it. Maybe it is a 1-2-1-2, because if it's a 1-2-1-2-1-2-1-2 setup, we're looking at a 20 to 30% move in the next 6 to 8 hours. I mean, that's what if it's the count, guys. If that's the count in Bitcoin, and if that's the case, everything's going to go higher, much higher. Now, this count that I have is not as bullish. I mean, it resolves bullish, as you can see, but it's more bearish here. So it's a 50-50 coin toss. So as you look at your crypto, you're going to have to like make a decision what you want to do. And that's why we say you got to do what's best for you, because it is totally 50-50. But the market, this is like a poker match that has now, the pot is huge. The pot is built up. No one's, but now it's time everyone to show their hands. It's time's up. That's what this is showing me. The time's up, because it's not just going to go straight. It means the price just going to stay frozen. Somebody's got to make a move here in the next, I'd say next maybe 6 hours or so. Hopefully we'll see where we are. Is there clues of where we could be? Well, the 4-hour looks like a lot of upside here, so maybe the bulls have reset the 4 hours. Look at that 4-hour reset. Look at that, and we barely moved in price. I mean, that means people are really buying this dip here. There's a lot of interest to buy, load up. We also know the dollar index made a move lower. That has changed the count, which is also should be favorable to crypto. We only have 3 waves up. This was a reset of the whole cycle, so we're actually looking for now a bigger connector wave. So you have a 3-wave move. We thought the connector wave was finished here. It could have been, but it wasn't. So now we actually should be seeing a pretty significant decline in the dollar index, which would help crypto, right? This would help crypto. And this was just sideways action here. This was just some sideways action. That's why the market never really responded to this dollar strength, because in the bigger picture it was just sideways. When we do resolve the next trend higher, like we had here, the market should sell off with everything else. We didn't get that, so that was the clue that maybe this, this was sideways action, and that's what we got here, sideways action. So I'm looking at crypto, I'm looking at the dollar index, and I think to myself, I think we could resolve higher. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is there's a lot of stuff on the internet that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this drop has probably reset this whole cycle here. If we can look, you see how the daily we've reset the whole cycle. So this really isn't really a wave 4 here. This is correct in this whole move. So that's why I still label it as a 2. And then if you look here, if that's a 2, we need a 3, 4, 5. And then again, some people have this as a 4, right? Well, if that's a 4 and that's a 2, then this would be an extended 5th, but then it's going to get too far. So again, this is why I'm still very bullish on this 1, 2 and 1, 2. So I still have it labeled the 1, 2, 1, 2. I think until you take this peak out here at 109.8, it's still, you have this drop that's possible, this drop here. But if you take this out, then I think then the 2 is done, and then you have the very bullish setup where you come out of that. So I think it's very interesting moment in crypto right now. So now I can, with that being said, you can understand, like, okay, now let's look at your coins. Because they always said, like, if the kingdom falls, if the king falls, so does the kingdom. It usually doesn't matter. There may be some isolated situations where your coin will pump and the others won't. So I think with this one, we were calling the wave 2 done here, and we're just trying to label it very bullish. And again, this is showing the same kind of 1-2, 1-2 count. Here you have a big reset. Here you have that little bit of bearish divergence at this peak here. So let's say you put the 1 there, and then you have this kind of capitulation here. Now, what's interesting at this point, you made this lower low here. So this could be a connector wave. So we could still be into, just like I showed with Bitcoin, so we could still get that drop here down and retest this low here. I can't, and you see here, you do have 5 up. It looks like you have 5 up here with that spike higher. That means a 5th wave. So I got to go more. We're going to go more bullish again on this count. It's a tricky count, but let's go to the 45-minute and look. See, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some kind of 5th wave, but then it reset. So again, I'm just kind of thinking out loud how I want to label this wave, because I think that's important to know that. Let's get rid of this here. Let's get rid of this. So again, just looking at it, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe yeah, it could be actually 3 up, even though you have a little bit here, this divergence, and it could be just another like A, B, C within. So it could be like in a very complex correction, which would lend itself back to being in wave 2. So I can't really, I think for the most part, let's see if there's any other clues in these waves that we can try to find to see where the trend is. A lot of divergence there, and you have this consolidation. So this is probably more than likely. I think we're going to drop in this too. I think we're going to drop. I just have this feeling that we will drop, and then finish this too to retest this area. But it's kind of like 50-50. I think you're going to have to make a decision on what you want to do here. This is a very, very complicated, it's a very complicated chart to label. I would say that C, B, A, B, C. So yeah, let's just take a step back again. Want to get this right. It's just it's not an easy one. This is not an easy Elliott wave chart to label here. Yeah, maybe that's the right way to label it. Yeah, why don't we go with this? No, see, that's too big of a reset. So you have to put the 1 here. Yeah, right there on that peak. You have to put the 1 there, and then I think you're still in wave 2. And again, I think there's a lot of ways to label it, but I think probably the best way to label it is something like 3, and then 3, and then this C leg is coming down, or we're still in B, and C is later. And it's something, something crazy like A, something like that. You see how crazy I could label it? You see how insane? That's why it's so difficult to trade this. This is so, because I mean, I could totally label it this way. You get a drop to run this stop, you rip it up, and then you drop it again. So I think it's got some kind of crazy choppiness, and I can't. I think trying to say any cycle is finished here is not right. I think you're still in this cycle. I wouldn't be surprised to see a drop. but I think it's obviously bullish. It's going to come out of this. It's just kind of caught in a massive connector wave, a connector within a connector, and it may even be within another connector, which is probably the worst possible setup to trade anything. So good luck on that. I think that's it here. Now, if for some reason it does want to just crash down, there is a buy setup. There will, because we could kind of set our target here, and we could kind of project the target down at 21 cents. So you could have a little box here. Maybe you get lucky and the market gives you that, and then you get this too. But for now, I think I just leave it this way and just see what happens. I got to go to the other super chats. All right, AMPX and vuzi. AMPX. Let's go to that real quick. All right, let's see. We've been looking at this here. Let's see how this one's playing out. So looks like we're still in the B wave. Actually, we're in a B wave, but this is typically a B wave is like a triangle, like contracting, like A, B, C, D, E. So maybe put the end of it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2. So yeah, something like that. So it looks like it was some kind of triangle B wave here. A, B, C, D, E. Let's see here. Let's go back. Let's just do this again here. A, B, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, something like this. Let's see here. A, B, 1, 2. Probably put that there. 1, D, 1, 2, something like that. You know, I don't really like that. So if you step back and look, it doesn't actually have the right. Now, if you could put it there, but then you broke that low here. So then it could be something a little slightly different. Let's try something a little slightly different. A, and then let's put another B. Something like that, and then it drops. Yeah. Let's see, it doesn't, again, could we still be in B? Yeah, I think we'll go back. So it's not a triangle. It looks like it could be one, but doesn't appear to be. So we'll go back to what we had. So we put the B there, and then this just looks like some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. Let's see here. So we did break that peak here. Came down. So we'll have to call it this. Some kind of like 1, 2, and we'll come out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, something like that for now. And then that could be 3, 4, 5, but more than likely it's another 1, 2. All right, so it looks like it's coming out of the correction. It's coming out. So just took a little bit, took a strange detour in that wave too. But it ended up turning up, which is what we've expected all along. So I think it's ready to break out of this consolidation. You know, where you could draw the line through a majority of the wicks, maybe like here. Once you break through that, it should take off. This should take off. Let's look at some of the other time frames. Yeah, so this should push higher here. You see the 4 hours got more upside coming. So it looks like you should be, look at the daily just turning higher. So this has a lot of upside potential on the 4 hour and the 4. So yeah, so this should be coming turning up here. I'll be getting ready to have this thing turn higher. So it looks like to me that's the count. And then the VUZI vuzi here. So this is again, this is one you just have to trust the chart. And this was kind of the buy area on this massive flat, almost a massive crash flat. So as long as this low holds, this chart should continue to build higher. But it's it's like anything. It's nothing's easy. I know people just want it to go straight up right away, but you may have to be really patient with it. Now, here's the thing: is if this low breaks, this would be a connector. This would be still in the flat. It would be a 1-2, and it will go much lower, which is always the risk because it could round trip this whole impulse all the way back down to these lower areas. So you have to be willing to withstand that kind of pain potentially if you want to stay in it. But right now, as you can see, this cycle ended. We came out in some kind of 1-2, 1, 3, 4, 5, and another 1-2. And it looks like another 1-2 here, and then you had a wick and a key. So a lot of 1-2s. So it was getting heavily shorted, but then the short got blown up. So it looks like people thought it was like a free, easy short here, and then they got blown up. And so my guess is all those people shorting it here are still trapped, and that's probably going to squeeze it out. Just me thinking of the poker side of market, trading the market like poker. So that has nothing to do with analysis, but that's just what this chart was telling me. These shorts overplayed their hands here and blown up, and now they're probably panicking. And it wouldn't surprise me to see them try to really try to push it and then finally give up. So I think you could see another dip, and then it finally comes out of this in a massive short squeeze. It just needs the right kind of news to drop to create that. But I think the ingredients are there. The ingredients are there, and if you look again, just looks like here you got like a 1-2, 1-2. 1-2, 1-2. So I won't label all those 1-2s, but you get the idea. So then you have your first 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. And so this has to finish up. When it does, you'll get a big pullback, and then that will be go time. It'll be go time. Now it could be already, but more than likely this will need a pullback, and then you need go time. So I think that's too soon. I think you could get a little more upside. You see all that resistance, and then it pulls back, and then boom, then it's off to the races. That's the ideal setup here, and we have to wait and see. If you can't break this high, then the 4s and 5s didn't play out, which means it's a 3-wave move, and then that means it's a connector, and it's going to go, and then the shorts are going to get back control of the market here from this peak here. So this is the area that has to be defended right here. This low. If that low is defended, this this kind of upside is possible. If it isn't, I would expect a whole nother leg lower with massive panic selling as longs are trapped, where they got trapped up here, kind of FOMOing in at the top a little bit and not managing their risk properly. So you have to decide what you want to do. But if we do get a bigger pullback, at least now you can buy against this level, right? This would be better. This was just kind of like a shot in the dark buying here, but this was the area where you would have expected it to turn, and it did turn there. So that's shows me the market's still bullish because it's still behaving the way I would have expected it to here. So we had the 3 down. Could have bottomed here. We got that big extended 5th wave here on the capitulation wave, and now it's trying to build out of this low. Okay, let's go to the Toronto exchange and look at some of these other symbols here. NTR here on the Toronto exchange here. So let's take a look here what happened. So we were looking for a deeper pullback and didn't get it. So we're probably still in a connector wave. We're still in this connector wave then. And so that's what that's more than likely telling me. But let's take a deeper look and make sure we're not in something different than that. So we did a correct down. Did we break that low? It may have just truncated. I think it just truncated then. So that's actually really really bullish. It truncated. So let's go back to the chart we had earlier here. So it looks like it truncated like that. So if that's the case, then it's still in B. It's still in B, and it truncated here. Let's take another look at it. You see what it did? It did that expanded flat crap where you run the stops, and now it's going to pump it up and drop. That's what's going to happen here. So I would actually expect that now that it's going to do that. And we should anticipate that. I got to anticipate that as I give you guys these updates. We have to anticipate these expanded flats. The market is just doing this constantly where it runs it and then it pumps it and then it crashes it. So it does this pattern is very common for the market makers for Aladdin in the last, I would say, 2 years of trading, maybe 2.5 years. I'm seeing this so much more than I've ever seen. And I'm not sure why this phenomena is emerging more frequently, but I do think they've got their computers set up more to do this because it keeps working until it doesn't. So we should just anticipate this from now on when we get these kind of connectors. So I would be just looking for more upside. I'd be looking for A to break and then a massive about face at some point. Maybe it even hits $90. And then a massive about face for another leg lower. But I would just continue to trade it higher now because this connector wave could still push much higher as it builds out. We don't know where it will end exactly, but I think that's kind of what we're seeing, and we should have anticipated that earlier because that is it's just more. We're seeing this more and more. Yeah, actually. Yeah, look at the reset there on the 4 hour. You barely had the price drop. So I mean, you're getting a big turn higher. Looks like you have like a 1-2, uh, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why I put the 1 there. And this could be another 1-2 here. It could still be in 2. Uh, yeah, you may need to be careful. You're still in wave 2. So I think but I think it could be a flat. Something like that. So it's going to give you a bigger connector wave. All right, I think that's what I'm seeing here play out. That's what I'm seeing. All right, good luck on that. AAV. Let's see here. Again, still looking for this drop. Now, could it truncate it here in a flat? Possible, right? Because it does look like 5 down in a flat. And but see, there's only 3 up here. And if we look at the weekly cycle, it's overbought. It needs to reset down. That should be the final push lower in wave 2, right? Look, that should push you down. When that pushes down, that should push. So I am still looking for another dip down. Looks like to me you have 3, 3, and 1 more leg down. That's what it looks like. So I'd still be looking for this dip down here in some kind of WXY correction, I guess. And this could be some kind of ABC or another WXY. But we get the idea. It needs to stay below 1068 and it needs to start pushing down. And it does have the weekly cycle ready to cross over lower. Where's the daily at? The daily could go a little down a little bit more. And then start to maybe form some bullish divergence as this plays out. Let's look at the RSI though. You see it needs to drop here. It needs to yeah, you don't get much out of that. You're still in the correction. Still in the correction. So you're still in the correction. So I would say it's in danger of a drop in Y. but it's buyable. Should be buyable. So it's danger. All right, thanks for the super chat. MOWI. Let's take a look at that. All right. Looking for this final pump. Here it is. So it looks like we have made that turn. So just like I have here, I don't think there's much of an update other than it's behaving as we thought. But then this is kind of that moment of truth that, you know, if I had a crystal ball, I would know. Like I'm not a fortune teller, right? But this is a major pivot where you'll either get a flat, it will take another leg lower all the way back down and break this low at 120, or it's taken off in wave 3 of 3. So I think we just don't have enough data to know. We just don't know yet. But I think it's work. The plan is everything's still working on that. And then the Hang Seng index. So a lot of news. So this DeepSeek, what is it? You got this China DeepSeek, right? This news dropped on Friday about they have AI that they're just essentially a model better than OpenAI that's as good or better, and it's, you know, free to the world. They're giving it away free, and on top of that, it cost them very little to make. They didn't need all those fancy chips to do it. You know, they just did it on their own. All right, so we're still looking for this X wave connector. So it took a double correction higher, right? We had 3 there. Okay, so we took another 3 up. So now we're here. Now it's the same thing. This level, if it breaks, well, now you're going to break this. So now this has to hold for bears. It has to hold 22. It has to hold this level. Let's take a look. 4 hour. So the daily overbought, should pull down. Weekly is turning higher. So so that's interesting to me. That's interesting. Let's look at this pivot here. You see how this peak took down that peak? Maybe we need to think a little different about the cycle here. Look at okay, so this is the 4 hour. Did we reset that cycle with the bounce? See how you barely reset the cycle with this bounce? Let's go back to the daily. Reset, up, down. Okay, so a little bit of a change of direction here looking at this. I think we're going to get a pullback and another swing higher. And this is just 3 waves down. And it should still make another. It's just going to do it a little different way. It's coming down. It's going to come down here, and there, and something like that. I think that's what the look. Because there was so much capitulation on this low. There was so much. So it reset the cycle. That's why it's still pushing higher. We had the capitulation. Once it made that dump and it broke this low, which wasn't expected, because when we were traded up here. We not think it, but there was just so much capitulation here. It reset. It finished this whole leg. This whole leg is done here. So now you're in this X, and this looks like really 5 up here. So this looks like some kind of ABC, and we're in B of A. So some kind of A, and then maybe a pullback and C. So I do think we should get this pullback on the daily, but we actually probably have another leg higher. It makes sense if the dollar index is going to go down. It's going to weak. So markets are dynamic. It's changing in real time. So we're in some kind of B wave here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. So probably get another drop, and then after that, you saw the weekly cycle. It's more than likely it's got another leg higher to get the weekly cycle reset. So I'd be looking for something like this, using our data that we have today, and then the rug pull, the big rug pull that we know, something to that effect to really finish this leg out. Let's go to the weekly again. You see the weekly is probably going to come up, and let's go to the monthly and just take an even bigger look. You see the monthly, it's like the rest of the stock market. You see it's opening down. So this weekly will fail. So that's why I think this leg is coming, right? This is the monthly cycle. Boom, reset. This is the weekly cycle. So the weekly cycle's got to come up. The daily cycle's going to come down. The weekly's going to come up, and then the monthly's going to come down. And then you have your good opportunity. So that's probably what's going to happen with the trade. Now, is there a guarantee B will come down? I think it will because of where the daily cycle is at the moment. But there's no guarantee, right? It could stay up here and overbought just like we had here for a while. But I think for the most part, looking at it, I think the B-Wave makes another dip lower, and then it runs up like this, something like that. And then you get a bigger drop, something like that. So it's a little bit different setup. So just you just have to trade it whatever is best for you. However is best for you. I think there is a long position if it does dip down in B here to try to speculate and get a long position here. And then that's probably maybe look at some individual China stocks to try to play that versus the HSI. But now that's what this looks like to me here. And we did get the turn. It's just the turn was a lot stronger than we expected because there was much more capitulation here than we expected. So it reset. So you didn't need that bounce. We thought we'd get a bounce and a lower low, and then get but it just got the capitulation right away. People just panicked. They were super whatever. I don't know what the news was here. I guess Trump took office right there, all scared he's going to tariff them, right? There was the scare. That was the fear maybe, and they all just like got out, and that reset the cycle. So now you're in this bigger uptrend now because that didn't happen. He didn't do that. But maybe he is going to do. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe he is the trade war here. That's the trade war pivot. I don't know. Good luck on that. And then, yeah, how's the market going to interpret this DeepSeek news? Well, I don't know. I don't think it affects their market, right? Because they're basically giving it away for free, from what I understand. It's going to it could it creates FUD for NVIDIA and the semiconductors, right? Whether the news is legitimate or not, now there's a new fear that people need to worry about. Investors will start biting their nails and worry and fear that this could happen. But this was always a risk. Somebody could do something like they did. It's just now people are like more nervous because so many people are long. So they're set up to be nervous. So anyway, good luck on that. Amcore is the next one here. Amcore is semiconductors. So the semiconductors overall need another like swing down with but like let's just see if the AMD is a good example of one of these that people just are so in love with. They love and cherish and hold it as close as they can. We got the short here. We actually had the short here parade out perfect. It's still and now you look, this should retrace, right? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a big bounce maybe, or it could become a WXY big bounce to. So this actually. So what does that mean? Amcore could have a big bounce. Now there's a lot of this FUD that came out is going to damage the sector probably. So I don't know how investors will perceive it. So I expect the sector to have a bounce, whether it's another low and a big bounce or just a big bounce and another low. So Amcore is kind of in the same situation here. So I believe Amcore is in some kind of trying to finish some kind of connector wave, right? Some kind of connector wave. So you have the first leg down, and then you have 3. Well, we already said we're not going to be fooled by the market with these expanded flats. So let's just anticipate that. So let's anticipate this. So if I'm in Amcore, I trade it long against 2373. I would trade it long and try to play for this pump here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2. So we should get that in the coming week, something like that. But that will fail. That pump should fail and have a fresh leg lower, eventually getting down into these areas here for the final low of the cycle, which should probably be the low, the monthly cycle low of the market. Now, bigger picture, Amcore had a major cycle peak here, and this is the wave 4, so it should pull all the way back. So it was a big extended 5th wave. that's going to bleed down. It's defending this trend line. I believe that will fail, and then it should come back and it should come back somewhere around $11, I think $12 in the future. Maybe the end of the year 2026, somewhere around there. But I believe there's a long trade to play this connector because I just showed you AMD, right? AMD is going to bounce. More than likely, AMD is either going to bounce now, and this is WXY, or it's going to make a fifth wave and then bounce and then fail. So it's got one or the other. So I think like if you're trading like AMD and you're in this and you got a 1, 2, and you got a 3 and a 4 and you get this fifth wave, you get down to like 109. This thing's gonna have it should have a healthy bounce. Maybe back up to 140 even. Something like that, right? And then it's gonna have its its moment here, and then it's gonna do that's the bear market in the indices that's coming. We know it's coming, right? It's gonna take capitulation, and yes, I think AMD could probably break $70. It may even go to $60. I know it's hard. It's unthinkable, right? Because they're so in love with some of these stocks. They just love and cherish them so much, and they're going to be so disappointed when this finishes up. But it has been in a pretty nasty bear market in semiconductors. But I think this is what's in play for the semis right now. There's something like this. I know the bears want this, right? You just wanted to do that. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I think this is more likely. And so all these semis should do something similar. I would think. Maybe they don't. Maybe they won't, It's just my thinking on it. And that's why I think Amcore will do something like this. It should bounce and then go. Because if it doesn't do that, then more than likely it's going to just crash. And then there's going to be a major crash. So you could buy it here. I would have a stop loss at 23.42 and see what the market makers want to do. They tend to love this pattern, right? We see this pattern so many times. We run the stops, get everyone all bared up, and then we pump it. And then we trap everybody, and then we rug pull it. And then we finish the correction later. It just takes a detour just to cause the maximum financial ruin for everybody except for the market maker. They take all your money here and all your shares eventually. So that's what I think is happening here. So if you're a trader, long, you buy it long, and then you just put your stop loss. And yeah, maybe you wake up and you're unlucky, but I mean there's always odds of a flash crash, right? So you always got to plan for that. But I think that's what I'm thinking, something like that, and then we pump it, and then it crashes. All right, GDX. So GDX, I look at it tied to gold, of course. Gold is coming to a major cycle peak, potentially, unless it can erase divergence. So let's take a closer look at gold. So gold is coming to a 5, right? So it should be finishing up this fifth wave, maybe hits 3,000 ounces. We want to keep bearish divergence. So this peak, see this, if you're a bear, you're biting your nails, because if we take this divergence out, well, then it's another 1, 2. Then it's just going parabolic, guys. So got to keep an eye on that divergence erasing. But do you have divergence on the daily? Let's look at the weekly. That's a tall task. But look, we're just in a new weekly cycle, so it could take it out. So we can't get too bearish. Now, the 4-hour cycle is topping out. So this wave is topping out. We got the 4s and 5s coming here. So my guess is a couple things. It's either going to finish this 4 and 5 here. It's going to pull back and then surprise everyone with a rip out, or it's going to top here and just crash. So we don't know exactly where it's going, but I believe the safest bet is its fifth wave. The market, the dollar index, maybe the weakness in the dollar index is going to help propel it, right? Now that we know where it's playing like this like tricky drop, this would be gold getting crushed. See, gold really wasn't crushed here. Yeah, it went down a little bit. It wasn't really crushed because it was overall, if you zoomed out, it was just sideways action. So now we should, maybe gold won't be like moons, but it'll get a little bit of a lift here. But then gold will get crushed on this sea leg. So I think that's probably where we are. One more high is still what I think. And so the GDX, I expect the same thing, like maybe another high or a little bit more upside, but then a big rug pull for probably the last time you could really buy it. before it really takes off. So I think that's kind of the pattern we've been in, this B wave, right? See? So we're looking for this B wave, again, to continue higher and then the rug pull back down to these lower areas as gold pulls back as well. So I think you got, again, more upside. And again, it's the same pattern, right? We know this pattern just is alive and well. The market makers are loving this. Just boom, boom. We run the stops. Now we're going to pump it, and now we're going to pump it, and that's what they're doing. They're going to pump it. So I think you just continue to buy but this is upside. And see, it looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost done a 5-wave impulse. So you should be pulling back soon. And you haven't broke this high, so there's a good likelihood that this will be buyable. This pullback will be buyable for more upside. So if you're in GDX, just understand you probably are trading a connector wave. So it's not necessarily trending yet, but you're in some kind of connector wave. And I believe the connector wave will fail spectacularly, and then you'll get this real capitulation, which will set you up for the long opportunity for a big cycle higher. Or we break these lows, and then it's the miners are essentially, you're saying a lot of miners are going to go bankrupt. I mean, that's what we're saying. Then maybe inflation and interest rates are going to go so high, that's what will happen, and that's what this chart also could suggest if we can't hold this level here when this correction finally finishes. So something to think about. But for right now, we're just going to label it this way. And I guess if you get this wave 2, you can buy that against this low of 33.24 if this pullback comes in the coming week. So something like that. And then you could try to play that wave 5, right? You could play that wave 3 of C, because this would be really big and pumped. So you could try to buy the leverage, GDXU, right? You could do the GDXU and try to just play this and then dump it and then get out of it, because you're in the connector wave potentially, not in a trending market yet. It's not really trending. So something like this. And then all right, thanks, Thomas. Let's keep going with your guys' super chats. AMC and GME. Let's see here what we got here. AMC and GME. Those are our meme stocks. I mean, the meme stocks, guys, is a slave to the Russell. I think the Russells can go lower potentially, but I always say trade the chart, but you still got to keep in mind the market should be having some kind of small pullback. Now, GME, looking at it here. You see how we broke that low right there, but this could be 5 down and a flat, so that's probably done here. So you got to put that correction's finished. So as long as you're above 26.28, you're in a new cycle higher. Again, you have to trust the chart. If you try to correlate it to the market, you wouldn't quite call that a low in yet, but I mean the bottom in yet, but you have to trade. So I believe that's the cycle. So yeah, so it's a buy against that low, and you're trying to play wave 3. That's what GME looks like, and you have the wave 4 cluster that supported it. So it all makes sense to me. We didn't quite get to 25. I thought we'd get to 25. We got to 26.35. It was pretty close to 25 when we were up here, and we got that. I mean, if we break this low, then we're still in the flat, and then it's going to do like what vuzi did. It's going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a capitulation situation, and it's going to come back to these areas. So it really needs to hold this level to keep the bullish case intact. AMC, we're looking again for capitulation lower. Let's see what we have with it now. So we have 1, 2. So we have this 4-wave here. We should have one more low. I mean, if the swing So as long as we're below 378, we should have one more low, and then that should put in the major low. But I want to see that low in a capitulation manner, some kind of like panicky like drop. But it doesn't have to do that, but that would be better for me. And again, we're trying to save 240 here. Now, if we are able, let's take a look. That 45, that's pretty panic. Look at that. That's a lot of panic there. Let's look at the 4-hour. Oh, yeah. Look at that. See that? So maybe we got the panic we were looking for. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, maybe we could talk ourselves into the cycle being over. Let's take a look at the count though, just to see. Maybe it played out in a 3-wave move, instead of impulse. So maybe looking at it, I don't know if you could get any more capitulation than that. So I think I'll put the bottom in on that, because this whole thing got corrected, yeah, by that bounce. You see how it corrected the whole cycle there, boom, and corrected the whole. So again, just like GME, 321 has to be defended. So we'll be looking for 321 to be defended, and that looks like, to me, some kind of 1, 2, 3 up. Again, could be a flat here. Could be a flat here. Could put the 5 here, 4, 5. So it's tough to say what this count is. Let's look again, just kind of looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be too short. So you have to put the 1 there, 3, and then some kind of 5-wave move down. And we need one more low with bullish divergence. So maybe one more low, as long as you're above 321. So something like this. And then if we come back and take out 350, then the low's in, and we just have to put the 1 there. So it does look like good. So GME, AMC look like they're trying to turn higher. Looks like they're trying to turn higher. Our meme stocks, right? You are starting to see the meme, cryptos pumping a lot, like Trump coin. So maybe the memes, it's time for meme stocks to follow suit. And it is in the setup. I'm not sure why I put the buy area here. I don't remember. We looked at it before. I think I put the target here for some reason, probably based off of this this connector. And that's where it's finding buyers. So, and it does look like you did get capitulation here. You did get that panic. People just couldn't, they had enough. They were too scared. And that's what you need. They were too scared, and now the market got all the weak hands out. Because the only way for it to take another leg lower is you have to take that out. So you have to get even more panic. But now you're looking at this as a connector for this whole move. It's in 3. So then it would be a technical disaster for the chart. It would be a technical dip for the bulls case if that low gets taken out, I think. Now we do respect this situation. I do want to show you guys this, because you could break this low, we could still be in a connector for this leg, right? This could be X, this could be W for this bigger leg. So we could still break this low and then get a pump. But then that pump will fail, more than likely. So again, watch the market makers are real tricky, right? So maybe it does something like that, and then you get a pump. But if you break that low without that capitulation, without taking out this peak, then you're gonna get this will fail for another like lower. So that's why you have to do what's best for you, because if people are just thinking, I'll break this low and just go straight down, it may not, and they may just jam you up in another connector, which is what we saw in the last 3 charts we looked at in that situation, right? We could get something like that, and then you're just jammed up in a connector thinking, oh, it's just gonna crash, and it won't. It'll just do something like this, right? So, but that's a bear. Both of these are bearish outcomes, right? So the bullish outcome is that doesn't happen and that low holds. That's the bullish, and that's what you want to see if you're bullish. So you just hold it and you play this bounce, and you just see if you can come out of it. See if you can come out of it and have your stop right around 322 and just see what happens. And try your luck at the casino on Monday or after hours or whatever you want to buy it. I mean, and see if this works out. But you did get the capitulation. And GME is this chart. We've really traded this stock well. I mean, damn, so this is really following the Elliott wave principle very well. And if it is, then it should be turning higher. Again, you can't rule this out. Another swing lower, then see extends. But for now, we'll stay optimistic, and we'll just trust the chart and see if we get this wave 3 next week. And the meme stocks and the AMC and GME have a 3, and we could get some upside here. Okay. All right. Hive stock. Can you show me the bullish case? They hold a majority of the market cap in Bitcoin. I don't see it going below. So yeah, I mean, there's always the fundamental news that justifies, the price action. I don't really follow the fundamentals or put too much thought into it, but it should hopefully, you can make sense of it because I've seen fundamental news like that, and then you find out, oh, the CEO was committing accounting fraud with the CFO, and they actually never had the Bitcoin they said they had. It was just a big lie, and the stock goes to zero, and you're like left holding the bag. So again, fundamental analysis works as long as everyone's telling the truth and the news you're looking at is good and sound. And if that's the case, then those investors always make out, right? There's a lot of great fundamental investors. They definitely know what they're doing, right? But they rely on news, publicly traded news and factual news. But there's sometimes that news isn't true. I'm not saying Hive isn't true, but that's the thing. But the charts sometimes predict malfeasance because people sense that way before that shows up in a report. So that's why you have to use charts. And if you know the fundamentals and it backs up what we're thinking, then that's good. So your question is, it's hard to see it going down here. Well, the only way it could go down here is if Bitcoin makes that capitulation move, I think, right? Like, I mean, if to line up with your fundamental case, like if Bitcoin were to drop like this, I bet Hive would drop just like that, right? If this happens, Hive is going down, right? The king dies, so does the kingdom. So Hive is nothing special. If that happens, that happens. Now, if Bitcoin doesn't do that, you're probably right. If Bitcoin doesn't do that, then you're probably right. Then this isn't the right way. And so what we'd have to just go back and do is just see, did we truncate here? So we would still be in 3, so we would just have to call the correction done there. We'd have to put the B in there, and then this would just be a 1-2-1-2 setup. It'd be super bullish. What would be the first sign that happened? Well, you need to take these peaks out. It's almost the opposite of what we just explained in Bitcoin, right? The bullish case. So to invalidate the bearish case, you need to take out one of these peaks, this peak or that peak or that peak. So you're at the decision point, right? Look, you're at a decision point, like Bitcoin is. You're hours away from knowing who's right, the bear or the bull side. So either this is going to break, you're going to break this cluster of support and test this, and then that's it. Boom, it's done. Or you're going to break this high, you're going to come up and break this high, and then it's going to come out, and then it's going to be a 3 out. And this is just indecisiveness, or like I said, it could be a 1-2-1-2 out, but I could reverse it just like I had it. So I think it's really a 50-50 gamble. I think it does depend on what Bitcoin does more than likely, but unfortunately we can't quite predict it. This does look like some kind of consolidation, and I think I'll just leave it the way I had it labeled, and you'll have to decide what's best for you. It really is up to Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, look what's coming. That's coming. This is happening. This will happen. Whatever happens here, you won't give a shit when it's up here, right? You're not going to care. Oh, I got it for $2. I got it for $3. Oh, shit, I got it for $1. Well, when it's traded, all the way back up. Well, let's go back. I don't know what happened here. Let's get, sorry, guys. There we go. Get this all fixed. Here, I got all two-sided here, new pane below. There we go. All right, so when it's trading down here and it's trading up, you're not going to care. But a lot of traders care because they don't, they get scared to lose their position. So, but I think I'm just going to go with this for now. But maybe Bitcoin in 6 to 12 hours will change my mind, and then we can relabel it. But I think this is a safer chart to kind of think this way. But you could make the bull case, right? You can make the bull case that it's already finished, and that's why I don't like trading connector waves, because that's what this is. So but if you look, this is really an area of accumulation. I'll just draw that. This is accumulation. This is all so if you have the long game in mind, you've just been accumulating, and then you'll be dumping it here. That's what you'll be doing. All right. So good luck on that. And then next is ASTS. ASTS. All right, let's take a look. Oh, the Space Mobile. I heard it tanked. It tanked or something. I saw it. Yeah, it dropped. So let's take a look. So it's still in our buy area, but it tanked. But remember, it looks like I gave a double correction area, so it's going for the double correction. So it's coming down to this lower area. So you got some kind of bounce here, some kind of connector wave, but it failed. So it's just gonna consolidate more and double correct. So let's look at this cycle. Let's move my chart again. There we go. Okay. So you see here we had that capitulation and then a bounce, and we had the connector, the reset of the cycle right here, and then it went lower. So unfortunately, it's double corrected. So you came down here, you got a little bit of a bounce, and then it failed. So there's always no guarantee, right? So that it could go higher. So we got a bounce, and now it's going lower. So now we have to look at it as either it's still an X, and typically when I look at this, it's probably still an X, and then we'll have Y later. So let's get rid of this box for now. And again, what do we know about them? What do we just say? We have 3 down, we'll rip up, and then drop. That's what I'm thinking we're gonna do. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, so more than likely, this is going to do something like this. That's my guess. And then drop. And finish the correction later. That's all what they did. They run the stops. But you see this, all this overlap in waves, it's fighting the trend. So the trend wants to go higher. That's what this C leg will do. But I do think now that it made a lower low, I would be careful that this is another C leg trap. But the C leg should emerge out of this. Let's see where we are with this. 1. So there's your 3. So then you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connector. WX. So yeah, maybe it's over here. So we're at 1748. So you could keep this 1740, this level in the back of your mind, somewhere here, if it wants to dip. But it may have already been done here. So tough. A lot of swings. It could easily be off by a swing, but it could be finished right here. But if it does dip down, this would be another area right in this area. Here's your wave 4 cluster. That would be support too. That should be support. So I think it's going to be a day trader battle, war fought, but with no winner. Mutual assured destruction by both sides of the market will happen here. Both sides will come up at the end of all this with pretty much no money left to trade in it. So very, very tough battleground stock if you're trading, but a lot of scalp opportunities on both sides of the market on this one. That's what this looks like. Highly volatile, a lot of scalp opportunities. But something like that is what I think we'll see. Something like this. Good luck on that. Okay, in the current pattern, a triangle for wave 4 and KULR. All right, well, let's look at that. Let's look at this KULR. So it is in our buy area. Is it a triangle? If it's a triangle, then it's a connector wave. This is a connector wave. So it's not a 4. Like this is either a connector wave for this massive decline where it's a W, X, Y, and it's going to go full round trip on everybody. So really, this has to hold, or that scenario is possible. So just like the other crypto market, you're coming to the decision point. You either take out 271 and it's going to go crazy. It's going to go wave 3. It's going to explode out, or it's going to crash. Like it's a very binary outcome. We can look for clues. I would be more bullish. Look at the daily. So the bears have nothing left. They've used up their ammo. So more than likely, it's going to break higher. So I look at this as a bullish count. Probably it's probably in a 1-2 count, like a 1-2, 1-2, and we should be breaking out of this bullish. That's what I would expect. 1-2, and then this should be like some kind of 1, maybe a 2 here. Could maybe do here. Now this would be an interesting buy setup. This would be interesting if this pushed lower down to 235 right here, or like 237. This could be a long opportunity. Now there's a trade setup right here. potentially a 237. If it does dip down into this area against 204, to play this wave 3 of 3 breakout. So this again, this is that's what this is telling me here. Let's look at the yeah, I mean the daily cycle is what was the weekly? So a little bit more downside on the weekly. So perhaps there's a little more consolidation. So perhaps you get a little more 1-2s to bleed sideways to lower. Perhaps this wave 2 will allow the weekly cycle to finish its move, like maybe it breeds down to finish that weekly and then it's out. Weekly reset, daily's already turning higher, and then you're out. As long as this low holds, this correction's in. If this doesn't hold, it's lights out technically. But I'm not seeing a wave 4. I mean, this to me is like a 1-2. This is a big correction. This isn't a 4. That's not a 4 either. Okay, Jean, let's take a look. Thanks for the big super chat, man. The pot stocks. Let's see. Again, pot stocks. We're just trying to play that the market makers games, tricky games, and we're still looking for this turn. It's in the buy area, and you just have to be patient. It does look like 5 down here of some kind. You have massive bullish divergences on the 4-hour, on the daily, now on the weekly. So you have bullish divergence on almost every time frame. The weekly oscillator also formed the bullish divergence here. The daily oscillator as well, from here to here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess the monthly hasn't shown turn, but eventually the monthly will turn. So I mean, you're very close. You're just waiting for the right catalyst, the right news to emerge, and then see. So again, it's in the area. You just have to be patient, but a lot of people are impatient, and that's why they never make any money in the market. All right, MSOX, it's just the same thing. It's just an analogy of the same thing. It's not going to be any different, and it's just going to have to be patient. A lot of people, they just want it to go up now. They just can't wait anymore. And I get it. It's frustrating to wait. It's frustrating. Because people want calls, and they run out, time, right? But that's why they do what they're doing. They want to pay those calls out. So this to me probably looks like some kind of weird connector. So this is also a warning sign, but this looks like a connector, right? So it looks like it already has turned. See, this already turned. It's going to do that, and it's going to just do something like that. So that's what this is saying. It's saying there's something like that. See, it's already turning up. It's already turning up. It's already turning up. The weekly is due, but we don't have the confirmation yet. So again, looking for something like this. Maybe it comes back up and fills up to 40 at some point in the future. Okay, TC. I'm not familiar with this one. TCNNF. Some other cannabis play. This one is more bullish. This one should be in a wave 3 moment at any moment. 1-2, 1-2. So if this is right, we should be seeing some really good price action in the coming weeks. There's really not much to talk about this. Again, we just trust the chart. The chart hasn't changed anything. We had the buy here, and it's holding up. But again, you have to be patient. A lot of traders are not patient. They just want it to go straight up now. But it never does. There's always these 1s and 2s. And it can even do this, guys. Like, you got to understand, like, the long picture. When you're buying wave 1s, see, this system is, you're buying wave 1s. You're not buying wave 3s. Most trading systems of people you follow on the internet, or they sell books, or CNBC, their whole system is trying to identify wave 3s and then trade that momentum. They're just wave 3 traders. They don't know it. They don't call themselves that because they don't know what they don't know it. But that's essentially, they're just looking for wave 3s, breakouts, 3 of 3s, and they're trying to, their systems identify those, and they get in and get out of those. That's all they're doing. That's all those systems are. This system finds the wave 1s, which means you have to be a little more patient. But that gives you the most profit opportunity if you do that versus chasing a wave 3, where most of the profits already been taken. I mean, think about it. Who's making money when the breakout? I mean, by the time you hear it on TV, someone, you call that smart money. Well, smart money's buying this now, right? When is all the other money, all the wave 3 money comes in way after the fact. And that's why we bought DraftKings when it was $9 and Palantir at $8. And we bought Robinhood when it was single digits on my channel. We called those lows, every single one. I made 4x, 5x on all those trades. I bought the wave 1. We bought the wave 1s. Right now, everyone's buying the wave 5s in those stocks. But that's a lot of risk, right? That's a lot of risk. So you buy wave 1s, you're not taking that much risk. You got a lot of words. So this could also, just so you know, this could also do like a 3, 4, 5 like that. And it could make another wave 1 and come all the way back down, right? And do something like that. So it could really test your patience. So that's the type of patience you may need in these types of stocks. Just saying. Now, you could get lucky, could go vertical, but I would not expect it, but this is kind of the expectation. But you have to stay above 442. If not, then it's going to take a leg lower, and it's going to go to these lower areas, and then you have to decide if you want to hold through that or not. All right, UVIX. UVIX is close to, so UVIX screwed my chart up as a reverse split, right, a reverse split. So my chart is all screwed up. But I tried to reproduce some of it here for now. So this is the UVIX. Like I said, when this breaks, you're going to get a mega pump in UVIX, okay? A mega pump, right? And there's some people that are posting something similar on the internet. See how this same kind of fractal, you see how when it broke, you got the mega pump. And this pump took it all the way back up to the peak. Where's the peak here? I mean, is the UVIX going? I mean, that's insane to even think about, contemplate. That's unthinkable. That's like trading over NAV. That's almost a dislocation on the market. So I'm not going to be that stupid and say, oh, it's going to go to 600. But hey, the fractal can make you, dream really bullish things or really horrible things about what could be coming to the market in the near future. But for now, I do think when this breaks out, you'll get a pump of something like this. But until it breaks out, you got to be patient. But again, no one's patient. They don't want to wait. They want it to just go up now, and it just won't do it. So UVIX, to me, we broke this low here. So that was always a sign that it's going to go lower, right? Once you broke this low, we knew this is a connector wave, right? We knew this is a connector wave. So I got to try to reproduce this chart for you guys here. I'll do the best I can to try to reproduce what my old chart. But basically, you had this leg, and we kind of anticipated this, and then you got another drop in 3, and then you got a connector down here, and now you're down here, and now you're in down. So looking at this, looks like we got 3 down on this move here. So you have some kind of W, some kind of X, and now you have some kind of Y, right? And then you had your WX here, right? And now you have your Y. So here's the thing. By the way, we called this pump on our channel. We knew when W ended, we called this pump, and we actually got it right in the after hours price action. It did hit where we wanted it to. That's the way this chart looks. Something like that, and then you have 3, and you're in the last leg down, right? You're in the last leg down. 1, 2, 3. But again, when is it going to end? I wish I could predict the future, but it's coming soon. Or now even. I mean, it's if you're bearish on the UVIX, maybe it could come down and tag this right here, right. I'll just draw this box right there, right. Is one. Let's just draw some confluence. So there's one possibility here to finish out, and that ironically is right on the trend line. Then let's look at the connector and see if we can project it from this connector. So that's in this area. So we're already in kind of that area of accumulation from the connector. So that means if you're bearish, this is a risky area to short the UVIX or short volatility. It's very risky because now you're looking at this whole cycle coming to an end. All right. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this part. This connector is probably too big, but we can look at it. And that's $10 right there. So it's right there. So that's really bearish, right, for this. So that's the extreme low. I mean, if we tag that, I would expect a violent reaction higher if the market got there. And that's at the apex. That's the apex. So that's the apex. Now I can't say it's going to go there, but it could, and maybe it will go there. But so somewhere So somewhere you're getting it's coming, right? And you already have a bounce, so you're in the last leg of Y. Now the question is, this should be in an ABC, so you could try, we could try to impulse it down. And it looks like it's already done the first cycle here. You really need to take this peak out. So you haven't. So it's due for a bounce, but it's going to fail again. It more than likely is going to fail again and go lower. So I think you're still in Y. It's due for a bounce in 5, but it should that bounce needs to fail again. So it's probably bouncing this week. Maybe get a bounce, and then it should continue lower. And I just don't know how low it's going to go. But that's what I'm thinking with it right now, because if you look, yeah, this if we would have took this peak out, then you could start saying once this comes down and we take this out, then the correction could be over at any moment. So that's why the market probably has more upside. The UVIX is kind of saying it is. More pain. More pain. But I would expect a counter trend rally maybe this week. Seems like that's possible. And then, but this is the trend line. So where are we here? So that would be right about 44. So if you could get it, let's say $50. If you could close at $50, I'll hit escape velocity. But that's a big ways from 27, right? So, but if it hits $50, it's going escape velocity. Like it's going like that. It's like going, like it's got to be a massive market meltdown, like crash, and it will be at a much bigger magnitude than this candle because you have this whole consolidation will play out. So the only way to negate that is to break this trend line down here. So you have to get below this area. But so if we did make it down all the way down at some point down here, it would have to actually breathe through that. And it's just coming to the apex here. So I think, or here if it's straight sideways, it'll run out of time around mid-February. So maybe the end of February is saying end of February, early March is really the market's at risk for this flash crash or whatever you want to call it. I think that's where the UVIX lines up perfectly. But then it's out of time, right? No matter the price. Because even if it trades up here, eventually it's going to come out, and then I think it's out of time. Because that's what we saw here. And we charted the UVIX here. We actually had to buy on the UVIX, and we did this whole thing with the VIX, and we knew a massive pump was coming, and we said VIX is 60, and then all that happened. Now, I don't know how high the VIX is going to get when this thing breaks, but it's going to get pretty freaking high, guys. It's going to get really high. This product, it could dislocate. It may dislocate or something, or trade over NAV. I don't know what's going to happen. But you need to be careful too if you're in it, because as quick as it goes up, it could drop. And if the VIX is playing like massive, let's say the VIX is up 300-400% in one day. Let's just say this comes out, the VIX is trading 20, and boom, it's 80. And then it's a massive flash crash. Everyone's down, market's down 10% one day, whatever. Circuit breakers, everyone's crazy, going crazy on TV, yelling at each other, swearing at each other, whatever they do. Then the next day, everyone calms down. The VIX goes from 80 to 40. Well, it goes down 50%. Well, shit. This fund is collapsed. You lost all your money because it can't handle that kind of move because it's 2 times leverage. So you got to understand like the product you're trading, right? Because you could go from a VIX to 80, 90, and then the next day go back down to 40. And then you lost all your money. The fund collapses. So you got to understand this. You got to understand the mechanics of these products, or you could lose all your money, even if you're right. So my advice is if you have a lot of money in this and you do get this play and it pumps, you gotta understand like it will reverse, and it may reverse and collapse and never come back into existence as it reverses out, because there'll be so much volatility. The volatility of volatility will be beyond what this product can do, and that could happen to all these levered funds you're in, even if you're right. Doesn't mean reverse back and then it collapses. So you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that, guys. All right, guys, that's all I got on that. So that's the UVIX, and I needed to update my chart a little bit on that. Options operator. Let's go to your questions here. Jupe. Someone asked me about this on, I was in the line trying to return something, and I was like, what the hell, I'll just do this real quick for whoever this was. Maybe you, for all I know, JR. Sorry, options operator, not sure. Here, I must have put on my long-term chart. Let me go back and see if we can, so I don't have to redo the chart here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so Jupe, very bullish, right? Very bullish setup. It's a bullish setup, but you know, this could retrace back down. So you gotta understand what you're trading. Now you broke this high. That's good. That's a good sign. Let's take a look. Probably a wave 4, right? This is probably a 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just, again, it should just keep, it should do that, and then you get a big pullback. But it's good. It's bullish. It's very bullish, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We should see this this peak get taken out as it comes out. All right. Let me add that to my crypto. Okay. So let's go back and do your other ones. Let's see here. Requested stocks. All right. Let's go back. Vine coin. Yeah, someone said that like moons or something. I don't know. Something, I saw that. Let me sort this stuff in alphabetical order here. All right. So don't have Vine here. Let's just go back to the other section. See what I got. Yeah, no Vine. All right, we'll add that. All right, Vine. Vine is one of these ones that pumped. Vine. Not a lot of chart data. Not a lot of chart data. If this is the right chart, I mean, again, looking at it, let's see if there's another chart we could look at here. I guess we'll just go with that. I'm not sure. I guess we'll just have to go with this data. So we'll just say it's bullish off this low. There's really no other way to chart it other than that. 1, 2. I don't know. It looks like it's moving in 3 waves. 3 off that low. 3, 3, 3. So why don't we just kind of label it like W, some kind of X, and then it reset down. Let's go back to the 4. See, it's not a lot of charts, so my system won't work very well when there's not a lot of data. My guess is it's still an X. You get Y. And then you have 3, 3, and it's going to drop. So I think it's got something like this up its sleeve. And then another move higher. So I would be, as long as it's below 45 cents, I'd be worried about a bigger drop to retest this area here for a buy. Another a long opportunity against this low. But it looks like to me it's ready to do something like that. That's what it looks like to me. But you have to do what's best for you. But I'd be careful being long in it right now, because it's more than likely gonna drop, and then finish the correction in this corrective structure, and then you should get a bigger pump out. Should. And then after that, we'll have to wait and see what the chart looks like. Okay. Lunar is doing okay. It's doing okay. And that was one I've posted on my Twitter. It's worked out really well for people that have gotten into it. Let me see where I got that thing. Let's see here, Lunar. I thought I had it on here. I'll have to add that back on here. All right, so Lunar's up, almost hit our sell area. our first sell area, so we got to be careful in it. But looks like you have a 1-2. Looks like you're still in this wave 3. Actually, I don't think that's valid anymore. Looking at the wave structure, we had the buy on Lunar, guys, at $3 on my channel. Again, I don't know who you all follow all the time, but if you follow me, we get these in a lot. Sometimes they work out like this. And then I posted on my crypto, like, once we broke this high, what was going to happen, and sure enough, looks like that's 5 up, but that's probably another 1-2. That doesn't look like a wave 3 to me. That looks like another 1-2 of some kind that's up here. Let's look. So we got to be careful. It could be a couple things. So this could be a couple things. So we got to be can't be too bullish. So I think we'll just be conservative and do it like this. We'll be conservative and put that there. Again, it could be a 1-2, 1-2. So I wouldn't go short it. Like, I think you're it's not a wave 3 top because it hasn't taken that peak out. So this is another. So again, I'm showing you a more conservative count. The more conservative count is this, and it comes back down to 15 and then comes out. If it does, what a gift to get you back in, because then you have a chance, because the market is leaving people behind here. So I think that's the conservative view of this. The more bullish view is it's a 1-2, 1-2, and then it's just very much, not much more than that, and then it's off to the races. So it's tough to say. I'm going to label it conservative, but I like to stay long. And then if it does this bigger drop, then that's buyable. That's not valid anymore, something like that. So good luck on that. If that's the case, it just turned lower, just starting its turn. It's just starting wave 1, and then it would be a pretty dramatic sell-off. If this is to count like this, it'll be a pretty dramatic 3-wave move. The other chances, it may just drop to 21, and then it's boom, it's out, and it's out. It's off, and it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup. So I think we just don't know the future, but we know that it should go higher. We should at some point see this peak taken out, like we saw in qubits, right? These peaks need to be, once they're taken out, then the pump's over. Then it's time to get more bearish. But until that happens, I think you got more upside coming. But I think it's something like this. Good luck on that. Luka. Let's see here. Some kind of mining stock, it looks like, of some kind. I'll just pick this one. I guess I'll just pick, I don't know. Is that the right one? Let me see here. Let's go to another one and see if it's the same thing or not. Yeah, it's 80. All right, so it's probably the same thing. Some kind of mining stock, go to zero stock, it looks like. Maybe not as go to zero as some of the others I've looked at. Looks like a nice 3-wave move that's coming off the low here, right? It looks about right to me. But see, it's already pumped. You see the monthly, look. Yeah, monthly bearish divergence. Look at the weekly. So I would be expecting a reversal soon, a major reversal of whatever this first leg is. So this first leg should be coming close to an end, and then let's look again. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't think it's a flat, but or is it 3 waves off the low? It's probably 3 waves off the low. Looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 waves off the low. So it's another dangerous chart because this could be corrective. It does look like it could go a little bit higher. Maybe you get a 4 and a 5 and negate this bearish view. Could get to 88 cents, but I think it's a dangerous chart to buy here in this where it's. But it could come up a little bit higher. But then I think it could either reverse hard and break these lows, which is what the monthly and weekly will do if that was real well over, because it means that's a 6-month correction, or it makes a 4 and a 5 and it gets more separation, and it does something like this. It could do something like this, and then you get a bigger pullback like that. So you do that. So I guess we don't know, but I think for right now, just be conservative and just say you got something like this, and then then it's either going to make a 4 and a 5, or it's just going to start to collapse. It would be unlikely to go much higher. I mean, it could still, maybe it could squeeze in the short term higher, but I don't think there's a lot of time left in the cycle off this low before it has more and more on downside coming here, at least on the weekly cycle. So you got the weekly, so you're going to have a pullback. That may be your 4 and 5. The monthly is your bear market. Look what happened the last time. So look, you see how it dipped, and it's just about to cross over. It's coming. So like, so that would basically go to zero. It'd be the end. Yeah, but it's a little bit more upside maybe, and then that's it for a while. All right, UAL. What is the final wave 5, and do you see it going lower? What would be your level to buy it for now? I never short anything that's pumping. A lot of people with Elliott waves that do these Elliott waves love to short wave 5s because they feel like the market is like you're playing chess and you can outsmart it, but it doesn't work like that, right? If it was only so easy, you just short this 5th wave, but it doesn't work because the market can extend. And this is why a lot of Elliott wave people are multimillionaires, right? Because the market plays tricks, because it could do this, right? I'll just always draw this for new people that just look, it does this, it does this, it does this, right? So you see this extension. You see how you have a 1 2 1 2 here, right? And it extends in 3, right? I could take this part. Let's see here, this part of the chart, that part of the chart, and I could label it. Let's say we're in this cycle, and again, I'm an Elliott wave trader. I'm going to outsmart the market. I'm so smart. I'm clever. And you would label it like this, right? And you would short it, thinking it's a wave 5, right? Again, I try to explain this to people because people keep losing their money time and time again doing it. You see, right here. Let me draw this up. So right there, you could have it mislabeled as a 5. See 5? That could be a 5 right there. You could track this. And then I'm going to short it. But look what happens to you. It goes higher, and then you blow up. You're short, and then and then guess what? It could keep doing that. It could keep, and then this could become a 1 2. And you just keep. So that's the problem. Elliott waves don't predict the extensions. The guy that invented this stuff didn't like he understood extended waves like this, but he didn't know like when do you expect it, when not to. We have tricks that we try to, we use tools, we try to anticipate that extensions. So United Airlines is another example. Like, yeah, it may show 5 up, but it could keep extending. So you don't short it. You just look to buy the 5 waves, or you trade it. But I wouldn't short a 5 wave ever in Elliott waves. I would never short the 5th wave because you're guessing. You're guessing at that point. And then, yeah, you may get lucky, but a lot of times you're not. And a lot of Elliott wave people have not made a lot of money potentially in this bull market since 2009 because it keeps extending on them. It just keeps extending, and it runs away from you. So you gotta be careful with the wave 5s as my only thing. Let's go to the travel stocks and see what United Airlines is doing here. I think United Airlines probably does do a pullback of some kind, right? But is it a wave 5 or another 1 2 1 2 setup? Here, let me find it here. What's the symbol UAL? All right. So here we are, 5th wave, right? It's beautiful, right? It looks beautiful. Now, if my graph is right, you'll have a spectacular collapse, right? It does look tempting. It does look juicy to short it, right? But what if it isn't? What if this is a 1 2 1 2? Could be. So, and then it just melts up. So let's take a look. Let's look at this 5th wave and see what we got going on. There's your 3. That's good. There's your bearish divergence. There's your 3 of 5. There's your bearish divergence, and now it's open and down. So yeah, maybe the top's in 5. The top could be in. You're right, and maybe you could short it and just have you just close it at 117, and maybe it's not as risky as it may seem if you manage your trade properly. It could do that. So perhaps that's it. So perhaps that's it. So maybe the idea is something like that. So maybe you try to short that. But see, this is different than short. So this would be a short setup on this wave 2. So you're shorting a wave 2 against this 117, right? So you're not. So you're now if you get 117 is out, you gotta leave the short. You gotta leave it if you're going to try to play that. So I think that's the play. So I think that's the play. And what it morphs into is anyone's guess. It could easily, though, just so you know, find support at 88 and keep going. So if you're going to play the short side, you're going to have to decide when to take profit, how to play it. But if it's going to be this graph that I show, and the only reason I have it so bearish is the way it set up down here, is if it's this graph, then this should drop back down to $70 in a blink of an eye. We should know. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But I would be expecting either a 4 and a 5, a drop to $90, $88 and a 5, and then a bigger drop, or it's what I've got here. So let's take a look at the daily. So yeah, it's got more downside. Weekly, way overextended. Downside. So yeah, monthly, well, a bear market's coming. So yeah, I mean we'll know soon enough. Dangerous to be buying it here now that we have to turn. Right now, once we break this high, you can't short it anymore because then the 5 can extend, or it could become a 1-2, 1-2, and really like. So this is the setup for there's only one short setup. It's right here with this little wave 2 here against this high, and then you have to see if you get lucky or not, and see what kind of drop you get coming up here. So was that the final wave 5, and do you see it going lower? So I would just say that you could short it here against that 118, and then I would probably look to take profit at the wave 4 area here, somewhere around the low 90s, 88. But you'll know this wave 3. If this wave 3 extends into like 79, then I would just hold the short. I would just hold it open. I would just keep it open, and you'll just have to be patient and just keep it open, and then let this bleed all the way back down, and then maybe close it down here at like 55 or something. But you don't know, like we don't know the degree. We're gonna know soon. Now, of course, if it rallies back up above 118 or whatever, then you gotta close it. You have to, because it can just keep extending. It just keep extending. All right, cryptos, XCN, CRV. Let's take a look at those cryptos here. And then CRV. Yeah, we have CRV. I recognize that one. All right, XCN. Oh, it's look at that. Damn. So coming off the low, so we just have to assume the low is we'll just go below off the low and see if we could chart this thing properly. Looks like you have some kind of 3-wave move here. Well, we have divergence, so it's 5. Some kind of 5-wave move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Makes sense, given, right? And then you're coming out. So the question is what is all this? So it looks like a 1, 2 right there. Right, I'm sure that erased divergence, so I won't even put that as a 5. You see, erase divergence. You're still erasing. Why is that? I wonder why it's so bullish. Crypto's crazy, man. Sometimes it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's probably your first wave 3 right there. You're probably at your first wave 4 right now. So it should still push higher with bearish divergence playing out. So, but I think the easy money's probably over, right? Now it's going to do the 4s and 5s, and then have a dramatic pullback. So if you were lucky enough to get it here, this is probably the area you're looking to unload. Could it keep extending? It's possible, but it's unlikely. You know, but you never know what the future holds. But it looks like that 3's in here. In that 4 is probably here, or another little dip, and then you get another high, right? And then you should get this wave 3. And you want to start seeing some bearish divergence play out to know you're in these 5th waves. And then a big pullback. All right, CRV. Let's go to CRV. See what we got going on. So we got this wave 2, 3. It's just like the rest of crypto in this middle. I mean, we don't know. I could put the 2 there. I could have it as a 1, 2, 1, 2, or it takes that dip down. But I think your first sign would be as if 72 cents breaks, then you're at risk for the dip down to 2, down to here. And if it doesn't break, then you have the bullish setup. So it's really just place your bet. There's really no good way. We could try to look at the shape of the waves to see if that's a clue. Looks like 5 up here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And some kind of 5 here. So maybe it's 3, 3, 5. So that's a connector. So yeah, maybe it's 2. Maybe that's a connector of some kind here. I don't know. Let's just look here. 3, then 3. So let's just again. There's so many ways to label this. It's not even funny. I mean, again. I'm just trying to A, B, B. And that means it would drop, one more drop. So, I mean, I'm going to leave it this way, but it doesn't have to do that. I could make it more bullish like I had before, but I think I'd label it this way for that last little capitulation drop. This it may not make it all the way down here, so let's get a different target that's more realistic. I like to say is like a little more realistic. I think 57.9 would be the more realistic target that I would probably expect right here if it does that. We don't know. You're just going to have to decide to do what's best for you on that. If I didn't have a position in it, I'd be watching on the sidelines. I would just be, oh, it drops, great, I can buy it. If it starts to take out this pivot, especially this one, then okay, I want to get in on this on any dip. But here, you're just, it's a lottery ticket play, short or long. Short or long, it's lottery ticket play. So, okay, 30 over par. Let's go to yours. Some big cap tech. Definitely don't get as much big cap tech questions as I used to. I must mean people aren't losing interest in them. I wonder if that's a sign of sentiment out there or what. All right, so we had this short area in Tesla pulling back. So we're still looking for this because the reason we thought is the correction was too quick, right? It's too quick. So we're looking for this dip down to 329, and I think it's, there's a lot of bearish sentiment around Trump and the EV sector in general, and also Musk has got this other stuff going on social media about his hand gesture he made that bothered people. So I think, I don't know, maybe sentiment's turning down here, but I really like to buy TSLL here if it does this dip. What a gift. Man, I can't believe the market will give us this opportunity, but maybe it will. Maybe it will. I would say I would still be bearish as long as it's below 439. I would not be. I'll be on again. No position. If you have no position in it, you're just waiting on the sidelines. Now, if it breaks this, then it's off to the right. It's going. It's pumping. But if it can't break this, this is at risk. This downturn here is at risk. That to come true here, and this looks like some kind of 1-2 set, waiting for a 3 to the downside on your Y leg. So it's almost in your capitulation formation. It's in the capitulation type formation. If this is right here, I'm sorry, I need to label that better. It would be like WXY. So it'd be like an ABC. So this would be, you would label it from here 1, 2, so like something like that. So something like that. or it does an A and it bounces, and then you get something even more complicated, something like this, something like that. It's possible, like you had here. You get that. That's probably the better way to label it, something like that. Okay, so something like that. All right, let's see here. Then Meta, Meta kept pumping, right? Everybody loves Meta, and we had this fifth wave we needed to finish, and it looks like we're getting close, right? Almost there, right? And again, we had this count. Looks like that's the low. Looks like we should be in the final innings of this thing, but unless we've erased divergence, and it looks like you should be close to the finish point here. Let's see. All right, so maybe still has some 4s and 5s to play out, so still more upside. Maybe it's going to tag 700 even. But again, you're picking up pennies in front of the steamroller if you're buying it, which makes sense because the market's ready for that flash crash scenario, which I think it's setting itself up for. So we did take this out, which is expected in the 3 of 5. As long as we're below this peak, let's look at the 4 though. That's more important. Below that peak, as long as you get this bearish divergence, the bears will take back control and flip this back into a bear market soon. And my guess is it will retrace back down to the wave 4 cluster somewhere around 560, 550 when it's all said and done in this wave 2. I'll be surprised if it retests this breakout at 531, but it could. But that's a lot of massive support there, right in this area here at 538. Let's just kind of look. Do we think that's 3 on Grand Super Cycle Wave 3? Let's look at the higher RSIs and see. Yeah, you see that peak took this out. Netflix doesn't show this, by the way. So this is this is Grand Super Cycle Wave 3. So we gotta change the label a little bit. So we gotta get rid of a couple things. So we're gonna have to change the labeling on the higher time frames. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so we want to tweak the labeling just a little bit. Where is the peak? There. So again, this is where I just want to make sure we have the right cycle labeled here. So that's a 3, that's your 4, this is a 5, so that's a 1, 2. Wow. That can't be. It's an extended fifth. Then it's got to be an extended fifth wave. All right, so that's more bearish for phase. That's a FOMO. So that means everyone's FOMO'd in. So you got a massive extended fifth wave. But this is a Grand Super Cycle Wave 3 top that's emerging. So let's go back to the labeling here. So you have us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, so this is Facebook's at a will have a dramatic sell-off when it happens because of this extended fifth wave and Grand Super Cycle Wave 3. So you truly are picking up the pennies in front of the steamroller here. And this could come all the way back down to 446 then for this Wave 4 Grand Super Cycle and then make another high. So something like that. So this is where we are with Facebook or Meta updating the chart and looking at the RSI. So something like this. Major peak, big pullback, multi-month, which makes sense. It lines up with the market forecast. Could see you see the 6. What's the 618 retrace of this? If it's somewhere around there, let's see. 454, yeah, somewhere down here. So it's probably looking at a pretty healthy decline, and then that should make another high, be buyable, right? Like that. It should be buyable for one more push, or it could be a 1-2, 1-2, and then it goes even more vertical. So yeah, very dangerous to trade it, but that's this chart that's what this chart is saying. But this extended fifth usually results in crashes when they reverse. So be very careful going long with the extended fifth wave that we're in. We're in extended fifth wave. All right, so a lot of dumb money's trapped in here right now. They don't know it yet. Okay. But again, the pullback should be buyable. It's not the end of the world. If you're a long-term investor, you probably just want to hold it, right, for now. Okay, I'm not familiar with this INV1, INVZ. All right, so let's take a look at INVZ. Again, kind of like a go to zero stock. Yeah, we'll just chart it from the low here, but looks like three waves, so more than likely maybe it's finished a major correction here, and it's going to have a new bull market until looks like you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 up here, and then a reset, and then that's too big for like a expanded flat, but maybe it is. There's no rule that says exactly, so I think you just have to label it like an expanded flat for now. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's in a connector here with a divergence. So this one's tough. I mean, it looks very impulsive off the low, but it didn't. You see the bearish divergence here. You see, again, could have a massive extended fifth wave off this low, which means it would take another. It would go back down to under $1. So I think that's what you got to be really, again, has to be careful in it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. You know, 4 or 5, right? Something like that. I don't think that's the 3, 4, because you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's look here real quick. Yeah, and you took the divergence out, so this is probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, straight down, wave 4, up 5. So yeah, maybe not. Maybe it will hold, because it looks like 5 up with the divergence. So yeah, I bet this is going to hold. And it looks like to me you have like something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that playing out. In fact, it could be 5 here, because you see I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So maybe one more high and then a bigger pullback is possible. Back down to 161, and then it goes vertical again. Something like that. That's probably the most probable path, but you know, it could be off by a swing. It's really a tough chart. I would be looking for something like A, something like that, and then I only worry is I don't like how it bottomed, but but see, it's such a short time frame. See, that bottom a lot better, and it's opening downwards. So is it possible the 5 is already in? It's possible the 5's already done. So I think it's like 50-50, because you have 3. Yeah, maybe the 5's already done here. If that's the case, it should just drop back down a little bit more after a little bounce here, back down to 166. So as long as again you're above 135, I would expect it to make another swing higher. Looking at this chart now. All right, and then Mobileye. Let's take a look at Mobileye real quick. Had the buy here, and that looks like it's playing out nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 down. So this is coming out of its correction, and that could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Too many things, I won't label it, but you get the idea. As long as you're above 15. Well, see, you could even break 1567. This could also do something like that. Is really need to be above 1491. This is only 3 up, so you do have to be careful for a deeper pullback potentially. But that's buyable for people that may have missed this little pump here to 50. So you could get a second chance entry at 1542 against the low 1489. So it's possible that you get another dip down there, but it doesn't have to happen. Either way, I think it's coming out of this big correction that we're in here. It looks like we nailed that one well. Now if this breaks, then it's game over. It's going to go all. It's probably will retrace back down to this $10. It'll be a big bearish breakdown. So you really need this low to hold. So so we'll have to wait and see if it can turn out it is correction or not. Here, really get going. Okay, Anonymous, thanks again. GSOL, yeah, so Solana can dip there. Solana has the chart in crypto is in this area where there's a big move coming. It's just very binary what's about to happen, but unfortunately no one's gonna be able to predict the future to know. I think there's some signs that is a lean bullish than bearish. But I would I mean, I don't usually give my personal trades on my channel. I am long Solana, but I'm not looking to sell it, short it. I'm holding my position. I could care less if it drops to 180, 100. I could care less. It doesn't bother. Like, that's not how I trade. You understand my mindset, like where I trade, because I just look at the bigger picture. I'm always looking at the bigger picture here. Let me go again. It must have ended up over here in my long-term chart. Let's go back. Solana. So Solana, real quick, important to see the setup here. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Right, there's a very bullish possibility. I posted this on my Twitter. Right, it's very bullish. Right, this is like a crash upward formation. Crash upward. You know, where we'll be up 35-40% in a blink of an eye. That can happen. The other option is this is a bearish consolidation pattern. Right, and it's wrong, right? It's not going to do that, right? A, B, C, D, E, right? It could be that instead, and then we're in wave 2 still. When this is a 1 2 1 2, and then we drop to the 180, the 190, like I showed you, like I think you mentioned. So I think you have to wait and see where these pivots break. I mean, if the first sign that the 190s are coming will be a breakdown of 245. Right, 245, and that more than likely means Bitcoin is breaking down, like to starting its break down here like that. But like I mentioned, it could be done, and this could be a Bitcoin a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and it's ready to hit a 3 3. So I think there's no way to trade this. It's just, if you don't have a position already, you have to be on the sidelines. You have to be on the sidelines here and let the market decide. If you do have a position, I mean, you have to decide what you want to do. I would just be holding through this situation, but everybody's got to do what's best for them, right? I can't tell you, but no one knows the future to know if this is going to happen or not. This or is already finished. We don't know, but if it doesn't do the bigger 2, and let me give you the target of where it would be. If this was a 2, the target we'd be looking at would be somewhere around. Actually 201. I'm looking for 201. 201. So either 201 is going to get tagged in this wave 2, right? Or it's mooning, and it's going to be blue skies, and you're going to get a real big breakout in wave 3. I mean, so I think we're going to know probably soon. We're going to know soon enough. But anyway, GSOL, problem with GSOL is you can't trade it with this stock. So there's some risk. You know, GSOL is what if an ETF gets approved? Then the premium could evaporate, right? So you got to understand what you're trading to. But there is premium in this, right? So, but if you just trade the chart and trust the chart, it's coming off, it's turning up, right? So as long as the chart stays the way it is, maybe this is the clue not to be bearish on crypto. Maybe GSOL is the clue, because there's really no more room on the chart. But you can go lower and GSOL go high and Solana go higher because it trades at a premium. What if the narrative is, okay, so we have 5 up here. It looks like that's 5 up. So it looks like you get a pullback. A pullback's coming. So what if we do break this low and it collapses? But then the market goes higher. How can that be, Elliott Wave Sage? How can that be? Well, that could be because what if they approve an ETF, and then why would anyone buy this product if there's an ETF where you don't pay any premium, right? The premium will go back to 1-to-1, and they want to convert this to like, I think they filed to submit to convert this ETF to an ETF. The premium is going to go away. So the opposite, like GPTC was trading under a premium, it went to convert and went up. Well, the opposite could happen here. So that's where you got to also understand like the instrument you're trading too. So yeah, it does show, but it shows bullishness. The chart's holding up, but you have to respect the fact that Solana could still be bullish and this chart still be bearish. That's why you can't trade it with the coin, because of the premium and how the premium works. What if Solana moons or starts to get going, and then they release an ETF, and this premium goes away overnight, and then this thing drops from 30 to 21 or something. I don't know, whatever the hell it is. I don't know, but you got to understand that can happen. And it hasn't. But this chart right now is showing a breakout. That's what it's showing. So I think that's what you go with this, and that's what we've been going with ever since we've been trading and mentioning this, and you'll have to decide what you want to do. You have to decide what you want to do. The weekly cycle is turning higher. I can imagine a lot of people probably are short this, thinking, again, they're smart. They're like, oh, the ETF will get approved, they'll collapse, the premium will collapse. Well, what if it pumps before the ETF gets approved? Well, then this thing's going to go 5x, 10x premium, right? So we don't know the future. We don't know the future, but I think this is the count that I'll go with, and then you'll just have to decide how you want to do it. BCHG and again, those are ones. The same thing with the premium. If an ETF comes out, you need to really understand that situation. But I'll leave that up to you on analysis on how you want to manage the premium. But that's why the driver of these is really you trade the chart on its own, and you have to like not think and correlate it. I know like the human brain wants to correlate these things to other things, but you have to just trade it on our own. So it looks like we're getting this drop, and it's making its journey down to 280. More than likely, the premium is bleeding down in anticipation of an ETF approval. That's my guess. That's my only guess. Or the market is about to tank, like one or the other. But this looks like it's starting to bleed lower, just like we expected it to. Just I wouldn't be interested in buying it until it's in this area again. LTCN. Let's take a look. LTCN's a little different. We had to keep this high. We have a flat, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we broke down here. Let's see. Again, this is the bullish interpretation of this move. So we're going down. It's got to go down. Again, if an ETF, didn't they say they filed for an ETF approval in this? Well, if that's the case, this is probably going to lose all its premium, right? So that's what's probably happening with traders, whether you feel like it deserves to or not. But I think that's what's starting to happen. That's what I think is starting to happen. So we get rid of this. I think that's where it's heading. So I think you gotta be careful in these products, because I think whether that mechanics actually plays out, it's the perception that will happen is why people will now panic and sell it. Because now the ETFs are being submitted, you have a bullish administration that will probably approve all these ETFs. So more than likely, the premium in all these instruments is going to go back close to 1-to-1, and then they'll end up being buys again. And they'll start to trade a little more logically, but I think you have to go with this chart for now. Let's see here, WXY, A, B, C. So this was something like again, I'm just trying to fix this here. And then get rid of that. Was fixing these charts up. One more swing down. Let's look at that target one more time to see. We have 591. I bet that's like no premium. I bet that's what's happening in guys in these. It's just I think it's just bleeding through. It's trying to bleed out the premium. The only way what could really be interesting is if the coins can pump before an ETF is approved, Everyone's shorting it, thinking it's free money, shorting it while the premium bleeds, and then these things get squeezed like you wouldn't believe as everyone's trapped. So I wouldn't want to trade it. I mean, if you're long from here, I think you stay just in case the chart's wrong. But I would be expecting to be stopped out here and probably dropping down to this area is what I'm thinking will take place. But there's no guarantee. So it's a tough situation with these Grayscale products. Even though the individual coins are bullish, it may be just trying to get the premium, back to where it's 1-to-1. Total 3. Let's look at total 3 here. Total 3. What happened? Again, my charts got messed up. Looks like we had that wave 3 like we thought. There's our wave 4, so we're in this wave 5 of wave 5, unless we erase divergence. So we haven't, so this is still the count. But again, we could erase divergence and things can change. I think it's a 1-2-1-2 setup. So about to pump in wave 3 of 5, and maybe that will erase divergence. So again, we don't short wave 5s. You can't get too bearish, but it looks like you have a 1-2-1-2 into wave 5, but don't be surprised if divergence gets erased, and this is another 1-2, and it's mooning. And you have a 1-2-1-2-1-2. So we just don't know. The reason I don't label it that way, let me see here. Let's just go back in time. Let's see. So your peak is here. So that's why I put the 3 there. Maybe we'll take that out. The first time we'll be taking this peak out. I mean, it's possible. We'll have to wait and see where it ends up. But as you can see, these peaks will eventually be taken out. So I think, let's look at the monthly time frame. See, the monthly's starting to race divergence. So yeah, I have it labeled as a 5, but I could also say this is a 1-2-1-2-1-2. So it could be not a 5. So I'm just saying, I think this could be, I'm leaning toward it not being a wave 5, but another 1-2 here and a 1-2 here. But I'll just leave it for now. But this setup should produce a 3, a big move in 5, or it's 3 of 3 of 3. And the crypto market's going to have one of the biggest gains we've ever seen in a long time. So it's one of those. So it's a very binary situation. We're in a really interesting setup in the crypto market, but good luck trading it. And 84, if we have a big dip, I think the big dip is the 84K target I have here. I think that's the dip that people hope happens, which may be why it won't happen. But we keep it in the back of our mind. The technicals still show that this is possible, because my thinking is this would be a flat because we broke this high and you had 3, and then this would be a 1-2-1-2. It would essentially be a reverse move down. It would be extreme. It would more than likely come down into this area. Ideally, it would be at 85,000, but it should break 90,000. It should at least break this low. And it would be a violent move down. It'd be a violent unwind because this would be the count. Yeah, I wish, like I said, there's a lot of clues that show that this is going to happen. But then there's also other clues. So that's why it's so, I can't, there's nothing that's evident yet except for the dollar index that maybe could show that we don't want to get this bearish. But, we don't trade it with the other markets. I mean, the dollar index does show weakness, maybe is coming midterm. That would help crypto. You wouldn't think that would hurt crypto, but good luck on your crypto. This is unfortunately this is why you have to buy crypto when it's back down here, right? When we had the buy alert on my channel all the way back here, when I told my people at work that it's time to buy, like, this is where I said, because if you bought it here, you're not caring anymore what it's doing up here. You don't care, right? You don't care. If you bought it up here, then hey, your gal is you're taking a lot of risk. Yeah, and there's risk because you could get this. You could even go deeper and back test the breakout at 72. Like you just don't know. We just don't know. Now, if it does do this, I like to buy. I mean, this would be a great opportunity here if we can get that. But I think everyone knows that's a great opportunity, which is why it probably may not happen. Um, but good luck. Like I said, now if we take out 1099, it's negated. To me, it's negated, and then its 2 is here, and it's should start pushing higher. Okay. Another one from Anonymous. Again, same thing with the crypto market is we knew with MicroStrategy what's interesting is MicroStrategy truncated, right? This was too short, too quick. We wanted it deeper. It didn't come deeper, but we didn't get the 5th wave yet, right? We only got 3, and remember we said this is where we got rejected. And it's about where we rejected it. So MicroStrategy is make a 5th wave. If it can't do that, if it can't finish this 5th wave like now, then it's a connector, and then that is showing you maybe Bitcoin is going to take that dump. Again, it could be company specific, but that only looks like 3 waves to me. And we're open down on the 4-hour. The weekly though is oversold. The daily needs to pull back. The monthly is still crossing over the lower. So I guess looking at this, it's tough to say. If it makes another high, the low's in. If it can't make another high, this could be a connector, and it could take a massive dump down, and that probably implies Bitcoin will do the same, more than likely, and that would be 149.45. So I'll just draw the box there. We'll see what happens. Again, I wouldn't want to position here. I would be on the sidelines. I wanted to buy it, but this truncated didn't give us the chance. So now it's really in a very tricky area, and it's in an area that we don't know. I think looking at everything, I don't think I would label it this way. So I'll just say the way I would label it is this. So I'll just label this 1, 2. I'll still call that finish, and I'll just say we'll make a 5th wave, and then we'll pull back. So we'll do something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or it could even be a 1, 2, 1, 2. Why don't we actually that lines with? It could even be this. It can even be that as we finish 5. So I can't label it. Too many possibilities. You're not going to figure out how to trade MicroStrategy with Elliott waves given its chart right now. I think the best bet is to just be on the sidelines with it and wait and see what happens. And see if it breaks this low, short it down. If it breaks this high, it could be coming out to take, then more than likely Bitcoin's pumping. So like it's very, very tough chart, but I'm just gonna label it this way, and this is just a label, but it doesn't mean like go buy it, or it's just more like sidelines. MicroStrategy sidelines. BitX, BitX is also like you see that big breakdown with that low. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see that drop, and that's the Bitcoin drop. So BitX is also telling me Bitcoin could be bearish, right? This is the only clue. This is one of the clues that to me seems very, bullish divergence here, no capitulation, even there. So I mean, again, could it have truncated? It's possible. It's possible, but it needs to take back out it needs to take this out, and it hasn't. So, but if you take this 60, if you get to 68, then the X is in. Then more than likely it's a 1, 2, and it's Y. Like this doesn't, and it's going to take a whole nother leg higher, in a shallow connector. So again, support in the case of a very big bullish move in Bitcoin, because that would move this up to somewhere around $130. A long way from where we had it at 19. So the bears have to defend this. But again, if BitX could take this out here, then the X is in. And then you maybe want to be more aggressive in crypto, just like we were, because this is the instrument that told us that that pump was coming back here in September. We got in early because we saw this here. Right, BitX told you, and look, we had the buy here, the buy here, the buy here, and the buy here. So like there were plenty of opportunities to go long this. It is just a matter of how much profit you want it. But now, to only have this type of correction for this whole move is very strange to me. Too shallow. It seems like it needs more downside, which is why I would be bearish. Like Coinbase has the same kind of look to me. That's why I lean like with the bearish case on Bitcoin, like I show it. And then that will pull all of crypto down in that final swing lower. It just seems like we're set up for that. But maybe we'll truncate and we'll be wrong. So again, if you have good entries, you'll just hold through it. If you don't and you bought it up here, well then you've got some decisions you're gonna have to make. Do what's best for you. Yeah. So if it truncates now, BitX could go to 130. If it doesn't and comes down to 40, then it probably will go back. It won't go as high, right? Obviously, it shouldn't go as high. We're looking at somewhere around, again, roughly like 110 maybe, something like that. Yeah, the best option on BitX would be to be patient and wait for this dip down to here. That's the best option. The sidelines is the best option. Unless you take this high out, then you could try to be more aggressive. But until then, it's sideline. Like I wouldn't be messing around with this thing in this situation. It's not really anything to trade. Now, if you bought it here, you should take some profit. Like again, I mean, I would as a trader. You have to decide for yourself, but I mean, I would. I mean, you had a major cycle finish, so you should take something for that, and then you either reload it or you just hold it, or then you just let the market stop you out later and then leave the instrument. But I mean, that's the chart. That's the chart. You have to decide what you want to do though. Okay, Connor. Let's go to yours here. ARQQ. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. So we got that little dip, but you see it didn't really get that capitulation. It looks like it's trying to bleed lower here. More to see how the 4 hours still got to reset more. So I think it's got, I'm still looking for that swing lower. I think it's just taking a little bit of a detour here. So that's a finished cycle, and that's 3 up. So my guess is it's going to do a WXY here and still come back down to this wave 4 area. So more than likely you're going to see something like that, and it should drop. Now if you took out 31.38, then the low's in, and then it should just push higher. So I think you're in a connector wave that will fail lower because it just doesn't seem like this was deep enough. And you see how so I think it's got more downside. It's just personally, but you have to do what's best for you. Maybe maybe it's just a little too bearish. Maybe it won't go that far down. Let me see. 22.44 would be the target. So it's in a correction. So you're just gonna, but I mean, it should resolve itself higher. I would have liked to see it go a little deeper. It didn't do that, so that's why I think it's going to go down again. And then Uber, yeah, everybody's they were really trying to pump Uber on TV the last week or so. I think the fundamental analysts were told, you get your asses on TV and start talking up the stock, because they were panicked. The people are starting to panic, right? They were panicking, because this is one they want us to. So here we are. It looks like we're kind of finishing up this 5th wave here. Let's see how we're doing. Coming off this low, right? So yeah, more upside, right? Should be topping off on this cycle soon, and then a big pullback, something like that. So it looks like, maybe it could get to 72, and then it should have a pretty big pullback, probably back down to 64 later in the year at some point. Yeah, this one's pretty much operating like we expected. Okay, anonymous, Hut and Riot again. Again, a lot of these cryptos, I wish this is why trading in the connector area is so difficult as a trader, and you have to get your positions and get them early. So again, Hut looking for another swing lower in X. Again, you have 3 and then 3, so looking for that X. You see, this does not look complete to me. It looks like it needs another move down. This little dip right there. Although, see, you did reset it. So very, very tough chart, but then you're only 3 up. Let's go to we have to go to the 15-minute to look at that. See, no divergence. So yeah, it has all the look and feel of a connector wave for another leg lower, which would be 2391, 2268. So I still think that's the count, and then a more upside. I think it's something like that. I'd be surprised if it's finished here. And then Riot, let's see how that's doing. Riot did truncate like MicroStrategy did. I believe it's well, maybe not. Maybe we took that high out. Maybe we got 5 up. Let's see, that's a 3. Let's look here. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. It's more bullish. It's in a 1, 2. To me, again, maybe the miners are turning higher. So this one it looks to me to be. I mean, I wouldn't label it this way only because of the way the RSIs looks. I think I would label it as a 1, 2. 1, 2. See, so this one actually will make you, well, maybe I need to be more bullish to market. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of cross signals, and it looks like this truncated here. Now, possibly this is 5 up, and this is a bigger connector, and an ABC, and then you get this bigger 2. Maybe that's what we'll do to line it up with the Bitcoin forecast. Again, a lot of possibilities. And that why don't we do that count, because that would make a little more sense, and then that would explain away the truncation. So you get this like A, B, C, and that allows the 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that allows for the reversal back down to where we wanted to buy it at 831, ideally right there. So again, you'll have to decide. I'm just going to keep it this more conservative count, but ultimately, I believe it will be higher. It's just, I think it would be more better and be more complete to have it hit 858, right there down like that, and come out. All right, and MIGI. Let's see here. Again, kind of like Solana, just trust the chart. It looks like the 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. Looks like this one could go higher for now, but it has to hold this low. If it doesn't, it's a connector, and it would be catastrophic for the chart. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, this chart, pretty bearish, and if this doesn't hold up, it looks like it's going to come back and retest this low, and it may go even lower. It's a very dangerous chart, but not now. But if it starts breaking these pivots, it could unravel very quickly. But I think right now the chart's holding up. It's holding up. All right, Donald, let's take a look at yours. Coinbase long. So Coinbase, we have to look at Coinbase and take a look at Coinbase real quick. This was the first buy area off this dip, and trade it here, which is something I did, but then I got out of it on a little bit of a trade. But now, again, this looks like, this to me is not a complete correction. It looks like a connector wave. It's like the rest of the market. Let's look at ABC. So it looks like just a nasty connect. That's why I feel like the crypto market could resolve lower, because it just doesn't appear right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, that would end there. But see how we broke higher? Maybe not. Let's look at Coinbase's RSI. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we have that divergence. So there's your dip. So we have it a little bit mislabeled. So we'll put that X there. We'll put the Y there. 1, 2, 3. Or maybe we'll just label it as 5. And let's go to the 45-minute. There's a little bit of bullish divergence there. I'm trying to see if we could see an impulse. Yeah, you took it out. So it's 3 waves. It's just a weird, again, it's 1, 2, 3, connector, 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Let me see. No, I can't label it that way. We'll have to think something else. 1, 2, where is it there? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll have to put it right there. A, B, C. So we'll just I won't worry about how it subdivides on the W. Maybe it's subdivided into a triple, and then this is an ABC of some kind on X. One, two. Yeah, it's got to be still in the connector wave. It's I don't want to call it complete on this dip here. I think it's just in a bigger connector wave that this will still chop around sideways. Maybe it pumps up more to erase the divergence. So why don't we just I'm just going to label it as, you know, and then this is a connector, and you get like a 1, and then this is a pullback into maybe something like that, and then it's just kind of something like that. I mean, again, it's a real tricky chart here, and then this is in 2, and it does something like that, and then it pumps like that, something like that. So I think something like that. It's hard to say exactly how it'll play out, but I don't like to trade Coinbase here. So so obviously the leverage version, the leverage version is just going to trade sideways. Like it's not going to trend. You're just going to be frustrated in the leverage coin because it's just going to trade sideways, and then you'll have to just be scalping this thing in and out. But the chart on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be over here, and we should pump and see. You should take this out soon. So that also lends the fact that Coinbase could go higher, because that would be C, and then you have this 5-wave move down here, and now you're in the same count. So we should get this C leg, but it also could still be in a B leg connector as well, which is why I think it could trade sideways on you. It could do this. Like that, something like that. It's tough to say. I think it should go higher with the coin, with the stock itself. And then Chevron, I think energy could be starting to turn lower, which would be the capitulation move in energy. Trump's really big on trying to get energy down, right? He's trying to so you have him doing everything he can to help make that sector go down. Oil prices drop, so he's trying his hardest. So if you're going long, you're going against that undercurrent. He wants to put a lot of supply on the market, right? And this was the 2, right? Perfect timing for 3 of 3. Drill, baby, drill. Boom. All this supply hits. He's even telling Saudi Arabia to lower the price, and perhaps we are getting a recession coming in. So I mean, this is a massive crash formation on Chevron setup. If this plays out bearish, massive distribution top. If you were short this, you must have been very patient. But but it has to stay below this pivot here, 165, for the bear case to still be valid. All right, and then Apple. Where are we with Apple? So Apple's real tough. It's a real tough one. So again, if you look at Apple, it looks like this is a wave 3 top here. But let's look at the RSI again, just to see where things are. So the RSI is really crazy in Apple. As you can see, if we look, here, if you see it here, you got this, and you got this here. Okay, so as you can see, so this consolidation is going to resolve itself in a massive move. The unfortunate thing is this is the monthly time frame, and look, it's starting to turn down. So this could actually be breaking down. If that's the case, this could be an extended fifth. I can't tell you fundamentally why an extended, like why Apple would actually collapse down below, $60 down to this area. I mean, I could think of a lot of things why that would happen, but I would just say that it must be some kind of trade war with China where they just kick them out. And I mean, it's got to be something like that, to that effect, or the tariffs just nail those guys, like something huge. But I'll just go with this for now. So this is a big dramatic drop here on this 4. This is so, why don't we kind of zoom back and look at Apple one more time? Just kind of see where we are with everything. Put that there. Put that there. We put that there. And again, if I just do these labels, and again, I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, because this would be a tragedy for a lot of investors. I put 3 there. Okay, if I put 3 there, it doesn't, then, again, it's just, let me go back. So, you see, that's the peak, so that can't be a 5. So, that's why I had this as a 1-2, but then that would be a 1-2. So, I don't know. I think I'll just, my RSI system, I'll ignore it, because if I used my RSI system, I would probably say this is a 1-2, because I couldn't, because the other way would be so bearish that it would be almost kind of silly to say. So I'm just going to go with this. I think this is probably, and it lines up with Meta, right? So we'll go with something like this, something like that. That this 3 could be in like Meta at any moment, and then should drop back down to like 140, 160, 140, and then get one more high, and then it either corrects the whole ground super cycle there, or not. But I think you do need, if you buy in this, you got to be that there is a situation, and again, I showed you through the RSI, right? So, through the monthly, that this whole thing is a 5th wave. This whole thing, and I mean, and if that's the case, God help us, and God help Apple. It means a calamity is coming to these guys, a catastrophe of epic proportions. And this would be a blow of wave 5 for the ages. If this ever, I mean, this would be a historical wave 5, one of the biggest extended wave 5s I've ever seen on a chart. If that's the case, if the RSI, but the consolidation of the RSI does support a mega crash. If this pattern, I mean, this consolidation in Apple since 2005 could resolve itself, and it would probably resolve itself as a massive crash like we've never seen before, if it does. So you got to keep an eye on that. So I have it as a 4, but you need to also understand that it could be the grand super cycle peak in a massive extended 5th wave. I could relabel it, and it could come all the way back down below, easily below 100, probably back down to $60 to $40 when it's all said and done. The dust settles. So I don't know why. Again, fundamentally, why would that happen? It has to be some kind of force majeure type thing, something like not related to the business, like war, like something like that, fraud, war, something crazy, something like that. But we'll go with this for now. So it is due for a big peak, and it looks like it's 5 up here from this peak. Looks like it's finished. And that's why it's turning down so sharply, because we're starting a much bigger correction. Okay, SCNS, let's go to that. All right, SCNS. Let's take a look. How's that going? Looks like everything's going like we expected. So Y will end when all the divergences are raised. So this consolidation should bust out. So we still want to expect more upside to happen. 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, I would still expect more upside. But how I can label this in so many different ways. It could still pull back. Maybe 1, 2. I mean, I could still do this, right? If it's that, it will pull back and be viable, and then go higher. But it could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be very easily be that. So I don't know. I think you just have to decide what you want to do. But it could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and just go really take off next week. So I think it's tough to say, but it doesn't look like it's over. The cycle's over because we need to take this peak out. Let's go to the 4-hour. Yeah, we need to take this peak out. So I would pay more attention to the 4-hour. If the 4-hour takes this peak out, then the pump could be over soon. And again, there's a lot of ways to label this. But once that's done, it's probably got a big dramatic pullback. Let's keep going here. Some other ones here I don't recognize. GRRMF. Here. Hard to even see the chart. It's so illiquid. But I'll do my best. It looks like it is in the buy area. If I barely see it, so there it is. There's your 3. So if you want to buy it, you want to buy it here. I think that's the low. This would be the low. If this chart is right, it's the low. You would buy it right now. You would buy it right now, and you would stay in it as long as it's above this low. But I mean, it looks like to me, see it's turned up. It's starting to pivot up on the weekly. Let's look at the daily and the daily. So the bottom is imminent. Any second it will shoot up. Hopefully that's what you want. And then Baba should, now we just looked at China. Baba should bounce and then fail again. So Baba's going to trap more buyers in this little bounce we're getting, and then it should have another big decline. I still think Baba will hold its chart, but I think it's so I think again like we saw the other, more than likely we're getting a connector wave in X, and then we'll get Y. So I still think it's got another leg lower. I believe it's going to come back to retest this area. I'm looking for $70, even $69 at some point. But right now it's in this connector wave. And again, it's this the classic destroy bears, destroy bull setup, the expand it flat, and we do that. That's what's happening. So you probably will see it. You probably will see it go to 98, and may even see it get 100 even. But I think once you're around this area, I would be careful for the reversal. Looks like you've got another swing higher coming. You need an impulse off this low. Here it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 up here, but it looks like it should find support for more upside. It needs to go higher, so more than likely it'll be like a 1, 2, right? And if we looked at the Hang Seng, I think that matches up with the Hang Seng forecast we have, right? The Hang Seng forecast is, let me find that here. See, down and up, so it lines up, and then rug pull. So I think that's what we're looking for. So I think Baba will do kind of the same thing. So like if I was like a day trader, right? I want to day trade Baba, and I have this fascination with so you get this pullback, you buy it, and have your stop at 79, and then you ride this wave 3, and then you dump it whenever you feel like you've made a good enough profit. But it could go up. We could see it go to $97, $98 is somewhere around here is probably the area where it's at risk for a reversal. And again, it seemed like such the common setup, boom, and then something like that. That's what I'm thinking. All right, BTQQF, a quantum encryption stock. So that's a different one. I don't know if we've done this one before or not. It doesn't look like a new one. We'll add that to our, it looks like we may have already had this added. So, yeah, it looks like we've done this. Looks like you got your flat right here. More than likely that's done here, right? It just truncated a little bit. People trying to get in on it. Yeah, I would say that's probably finished. So it didn't get quite to our, so it hit 179. We wanted it at 143. Just didn't quite get there, but I think it's good enough. And now it's building out to build out into a wave 3. So this could be a lot of things. It could be a 1 2 1 2 1 2. It could also be a 1 2 3 4 get 5 and pull back. So there's a lot of possibilities, but as long as you're above 177, it should start building higher highs and come out of this in a nice wave 3. So that's what I'm looking for, something like this. All right, good luck on that. Let's see here, an airline stock on the exchange Wiz.L. Let's take a look here. It looks like we have done that one before. Not sure what's going on with it. Looks like we were thinking it was going to be in the triangle, so it didn't give us the triangle. So again, if we notice, we have the 3 and the 3, so is it going to rip it higher and B? I think we have to anticipate that now. So we're going to start anticipating those that setup and not get caught in the trap. So I think for right now, that's how I would play this, and I would just be looking for a rip higher in B. But let's look at the RSI real quick. Yeah, I bet that's what's going to happen. I bet that's what's going to happen here. And you'll just have to decide if you want to try to play that and join the market makers with, as they trap the late bears, and then they trap the bulls later. So I think it's going to do something like this, and then you'll get the bottom out of this later, something like that. And I believe right now that's what it's setting it up for. I believe you have a 1 2 3 4 5 here, and then it's pulled, so it's ready for a 3, and then something like this. All right, good luck on that. And so it just morphed into this: run the stops, pump it, crash it. We say how many charts today have we seen do that? So why would we assume any different? Like normally we would just put the B there, but no, we're playing this. We're figuring out that these are the tricks that are happening. So play it. Now if this low breaks at 1109, then of course the B is in. And then it's got another swing lower. And you got 1 2 1 2, one more swing down to finish your X. I think this is what it's going to do. It's going to do something like this. All right. I think we got through almost all the super chats. Last one, SYRA. Let's go into that one here. SYRA. SYRA. All right. That's a new one here. SYRA Health is in the buy area. It looks like we had that in the buy area, and it is coming out, as you see. So we have it in the buy area here, and look how it accumulated. You had to be very patient, and now it's turning out. So more than likely, it's coming out of this. It looks like it wants to move in 3 waves. So let's take a look here at that real quick. Again, we'll just kind of draw it up as 3-wave pattern, like 1 2, or that was more like WXY, but you get the idea. Why don't we just do it like this? WXY. Man, how high did this thing really pumped? So really pumped before. So if X is in, so we could still be in the X wave. This is possible. Let's look at how it dropped. See, that's a lot. It's probably, and then that first look at that big pump. So people are like confused right now. So now you have this. This obviously reset this whole cycle down. So it's a couple things. Could still be an X. Could go lower, but this is a connector until you. So it's kind of like 50-50. Either it takes this high out and it's going to really take off, or it's a connector and it's going to take a whole new 3-wave lower. So my guess, 3, 3, 3. So my guess is it's going to go higher. It's just my guess, but I can't be wrong. It's a really tough chart to trade, but as long as you're above this low here, the bulls are taking control of the market, and if you are in Y, then you should get it should really push up higher. Should really push up higher. Yeah. Something like that, and then it does this and this, and then it would do something like that. So good luck trading it. All right, so I got through all the super chats. I've been on for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut off now. Good luck, guys, trading. I think crypto is a wild card. I still think it could capitulate lower before it really get that upside everyone is hoping for, but there's no guarantee. So that's why if you don't have a position, you need to if you don't have a position, you really need to be on the sidelines here. But you guys can do what's best for you, right? You guys got to decide how you want to place your bets. The SPY, I have a market update you can follow on my YouTube that I posted on what I think the market's going to do this week. Celsius breaking that low it's a no trade for me. I wouldn't want to mess with it anymore. And sometimes trades don't work out, right? I have a lot of things I've posted on my channel that have worked, but sometimes things don't work out. It's not 100%. I'm not 100% right. We just play the odds. I would say we're about 80% so far. Everything's working out, but Celsius just isn't. My guess is there's something really fundamentally broken that you and I just don't know about. But the insider, somebody knows what it is. But once that news emerges, that whatever's going to happen, it's probably going to get obliterated. Something's going on with the company. We just don't know. The fundamental news isn't known to investors yet. It seems like bullish. It has all the right things, but there is big selling happening. People don't want it. I don't know why, but somebody wants out, and they want out bad. So price is being pushed down. I don't know why it's doing it, but it's not something I want to trade anymore. If I want to trade, I'll try to buy Pepsi or something like that. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, there's some things with Elliott waves. Yeah, Celsius is toast, man. I think you guys gotta mentally let go of that trade if you're in it. But again, do what's best for you. I guess hope is a really bad thing to have as a trader. You could try to hope your way out. Maybe it does an expanded flat thing, right? Maybe it does like the market maker, can play do like it loves to do that, right? Maybe it's gonna do this. Maybe it's gonna do this little crazy thing, right? We always talk about. Maybe he'll do this, and then you guys can get out of it. If you're trapped in this trade, you can get out of it. Does that, and then it'll collapse later. So maybe he'll do that, and then rip up like that, and then dump. But I'm not interested in it with that break. It's too weak. There's something, like I said, something too broken with it. All right, guys, that's